project. We had to take out the pavers to put in a bigger pad. There's gonna be some rock over here on this side where the palm trees are at. All this is gonna be rock. And then we're gonna go through and redo her border. We're gonna wet set it. That way the Bermuda grass don't travel in through the bricks. That way it seals it from the outside. We're gonna get it along this way. We're gonna cover all this with new sod. We're gonna redo her brick border all the way down, all the way towards her patio. And then that will be brick border all the way, brick pavers all the way through. It's gonna be a good project. What Fred and Frick are doing is they're rotor tilling the grass, so that way we just get the grass. Frank's taking it out, that way we just get out the grass, so that way we can save as much dirt to level and it won't be as much for the half-inch sod. What we do with the sod, we fill up the trailer so that way we could take it to the clean field. Once we level it off, we can start placing where our sprinklers are going to go. Sprinklers are going to go in between here. They're going to be really close because we only have a short distance, so we need them closer with less coverage, but with that it'll help us with these small spaces. And then in the other side we'll put some pop-ups with longer reach. He is cool. I want to be like him when I grow up.
I was not rude to that guy.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know what to do. It's an emergency number on there, so it was like 7:30, 7:40 around there. And I did apologize for calling him that early, but I told him the remote wasn't working. So he's all like that the lady's off because of the holiday, but he could try to be there by 9. So I kept playing with it, and it finally opened. So in order for him not to waste his time, I called him back and told, sir, the remote opened the garage. You don't have to come back over here. I will go and get a battery for it, and I thanked him. I was not rude. I'm an asshole. If I had been, I would have told you. Yeah.
You were rude?
He accused me of being rude. I was not. That's why they made me mad, because I was not rude.
You told him that you love him?
No, what the hell would you do that?
And that was rude.
Now we got the level for our sod. We're working on our patio. It needs to be level back way and front way, but just a little bit of drop so that way the water comes off. So the thing that we're doing is dropping it down so we can put in our crusher bind. After that, be ready for our pavers. We use our string lines for a straight edge, for elevations and everything else. But when doing a patio, we like to use string lines because it's a straight edge, and we screed it with the straight edge so everything's nice and parallel and straight. We're putting some 6mm plastic because existing was some Bermuda grass, so that way it stops any of the new growth to coming through our patio. So we got our patio put in, and now we're gonna put in our brick border. So later on we know our distance so we can put our sprinklers. But this next step is to put some concrete. It needs to be wet in order for it to be wet set. Because the thing that happens when you smash it down or you tamp it down like this, when you tap it down, the liquid of the concrete actually locks it in and it helps it not move, and it's set guaranteed because it's in concrete compared to anything else. It's not gonna move, it's not gonna crack. What we're gonna do later on, we will come in between and start grouting them. So we give it a 1/2 inch on each one. We're using these spacers because they're 1/2 inch. Putting inserts that are the same depth, it would be like having tile inserts. So I think we got some plywood, 1/2 inch plywood. We cut them into 1 inch little spacers. That way we could put one and then put the next brick. As long as it's nice and level all the way through, all we have to do is follow our line, and it's level both ways and it's nice and square. We're back over here. We ran our irrigation back to the valve box. I got all this set up. All these are for different valves. Each one controls its own valve, so that way they could go right after the other, that would control each valve by itself. So we already ran some new timer wire. We ran some, we put these new valves. All I had to do is connect them to them, and then we could flush out the system. We mark out our line, so that way we know exactly what zone we're connecting to. That way it makes it easier to connect in our wires later on. So we mark it in order for us to see which ones they are. I got all the irrigation lines in, all the poly and everything. So the next step is to test it out, make sure you don't have no leaks, before you cover it up. Finished our irrigation yesterday and our prep. So the next thing is to put in our sod. We gotta make sure it's nice and compact. All the joints are nice and tight, so that way it doesn't look wavy, or if they're not aligned, it'll look like one's too much higher than the other. So we gotta make sure that they butt up right to each other. After setting them, a good little padding helps the seams grow into each other. Pounds and pounds of the good stuff if anybody wants it.